We're here back in the Fantasy Bar, 6 guys for you for a big Friday night in MLB, including one of my favorite value plays, some correlations and game stacks I'm looking at tonight. A starting pitcher in the mid-range I think is underpriced and a beast of the night in a smash spot. Who are we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy Six-Pack. The weekend is here. We're talking baseball. 6 of my favorite plays on FanDuel and DraftKings. Thank you as always for stopping by, checking out the video. Before we get into the plays, do me a favor, take a second, click that thumbs up button. That is the tip jar here in the Fantasy Bar. Greatly appreciate that. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Still doing baseball videos, clearly. Still doing an NFL six-pack each and every week, along with my pints and picks video with 2 of my favorite NFL bets each and every week. Make sure you're subscribed. Don't miss anything here. And lastly, head over to scoresandodds.com/beer. If you've not done this yet, that link in the description of the video. When you're done with this video, go and check it out. Just tons of great sports betting information, ability to dig into the games, see some of the trends, previous matchups, compare all the odds across all the different sports books to find the right price. And the new parlay IQ tool, absolute game changer, guys. It's going to help you put together some great plus EV parlays, same game parlays, ton of fun. Go and check that out. Scoresandodds.com/beer. All right, let's get into it. We got one weather concern in Washington later. That is game 2 of a doubleheader. If we do have to make any changes, we're going to avoid that game. Any changes will be made in the comment section of the video. All right, let's get started at shortstop with Carlos Correa of the Twins. Now, Correa been giving us a solid floor, some ceiling games in there as well. In fact, hits in 21 of the last 23 games. So really been giving us consistency that we're looking for. 10 multi-hit games over that stretch, and the prices about as low as we've gotten all season long over on DraftKings FanDuel. He's dipped under 3,000, so tremendous value and upside here with Carlos Correa, a guy we know hits lefties well. 252 ISO, WOBA over 400, and if we shrink that sample down to just the last month or so, we're talking a 556 ISO against lefties. So big time power here for Carlos Correa. And this is exactly Alexander's Achilles heels, that right-handed power. You see our power mix squarely in play here. A fly ball rate north of 40%, a hard contact rate approaching 35%. Carlos Correa in a great spot here tonight against Alexander. Let's go to the other side of that game. We're going to mix in a Tiger. We do it once in a while. We're going to go with outfielder Keel Badu. So super cheap here, and this is the appeal. Also, this Detroit offense, who we generally don't target. Maybe we've had a Tiger or 2 all season long in the six-pack. 30 runs scored over the last 5 games. Badu back in that leadoff spot on most nights for this Tigers team. So they're playing well. They're putting runs on the board. He's a big part of that. Now, his numbers against righties this season, a little bit down, but you go back to last season, we know there's some power in this bat. There's speed. There's a lot of ways this guy can score fantasy points here. 229 ISO in 21 against right-handed pitching. Now, Ryan, solid pitcher, but the strikeout's always a concern with Keel Badu. A little bit minimized here with Ryan. Strikeout rate just a tad under 19% against left-handed pitching, and gives up a ton of fly balls, almost 55% fly ball rate. That's what we want for the home runs here. I think we could possibly get a cheap one out of Keel Badu here tonight against Minnesota. All right, let's spend some money at first base with Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers. So a lot of reason we like Freddie Freeman. We're going to get into the stats, some of the numbers in the matchup here, but on the surface, hasn't done a whole lot lately. We talk about this all the time. What have you done for me lately? A lot of the general public, that is all they are looking for. So you're not going to see any huge games out of Freddie Freeman lately. We also have some other higher end options at the plate. Jacob deGrom, a fantastic option on the mound tonight that people are going to spend up on. So it should help us out here. Should keep the ownership in check in a good matchup for Freeman, who we know has hit righties well over the course of his career. This season, WOBA sitting up there above 400 against righties. Hard contact rate, almost 50%. So very, very productive here. Now, Chad Kuhl, this has been a career-long thing. Just struggles with lefties. Always a guy I'm targeting with big lefty power hitters. 349 WOBA allowed, 223 ISO, 39% fly ball rate, and an alarming 48% hard contact rate. Not great here against this potent Dodgers team. Freddie Freeman, guy you want to pay up for here tonight on Friday night. All right, I promised you a mid-range starting pitcher. We're rolling with Logan Gilbert of the Mariners. Now, FanDuel, you got to pay a little bit more. He's approaching that 10K mark, but DraftKings at 8,400 feels like a steal here for Logan Gilbert. You look at some of the games, and there's been some ups and downs. There's certainly been some bad games in there as well. But 3 30-point DraftKings games over his last 5. That is the stuff that can win you tournaments, paying these kind of prices here. And a guy that can compete with the Corbin Burns, with the Clayton Kershaws, with the DeGroms of the world here at a much lesser price can allow you to spend up on some bats. Now, a lot of lefties in this lineup tonight for Oakland, 5 projected left-handed starters. That is great news for Gilbert. Strikeout rate jumps from 23% to almost 27.5% against left-handed hitters. And we know Oakland, very punchless lineup, a lot of strikeouts here, 6th highest strikeout rate at over 24% against righties, bottom 3 in the league in pretty much every category. The main 2 we like to look at, Woba, ISO, they're down there as well. Good matchup here for Logan Gilbert. I think he gets another big game on the board here against the Oakland A's. All right, let's stay with Seattle. Let's get one of his bats. Third baseman, Eugenio Suarez. So Suarez, another guy swinging a good bat right now. In fact, over the last couple days, 5 hits in just the last 2 games, 6 multi-hit games now in the month of September. And a guy that has traditionally really done well against left-handed pitching. Same story this season, 282 ISO, a WOBA at almost 400 here. Now, Waldichuk, young guy, we don't have a ton of history on him, but the limited sample we have has not been good. 424 weighted OBA allowed, 2 righties, and ISO all the way up at 347, so giving up a ton of power. And you see that power mix, just some alarming numbers here. Seattle, team you're definitely going to want to look to stack. These bats behind Logan Gilbert, a reason I like Gilbert even more, but Suarez stands out above the rest here for the Seattle lineup. All right, it's time to take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's continue our Beast of the Night contest. Free to play, easy to play, and a thank you to you guys for hanging out here in the fantasy bar. Just get in the comment section right below the video. Make sure you've hit that thumbs up button if you have not already. And all you got to do is guess fantasy points on FanDuel tonight for my highest scoring hitter. Going to give you 5 bats. Don't even need the name. Just need the fantasy points. Closest guess wins themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. All right, let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for Friday night in MLB. You know him as the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We're going to close it out in the outfield here with Mike Trout of the Angels, tonight's Beast of the Night. So anytime I see a righty going against Mike Trout, it instantly sends a signal. We want to get this guy in a lineup, especially when it's a bad righty like Otto. Now, he may have some supporters out there. I am not a believer in this guy, and a good matchup here for Mike Trout. 384 WOBA this season against righties, but look at that ISO, all the way up at 345, has always hit right-handers with a ton of power. Now, we look at the pitch matchups, which you can find in our Plate IQ tool here. This guy loves to throw the slider almost half the time. That's his pitch to right-handed hitters. Not good versus Mr. Trout here. ISO over 450 against that pitch here. Otto, 345 WOBA allowed, 38% hard contact rate. Trout in a smash spot. Big prices to pay. I think he pays it off here tonight. Mike Trout, easily my favorite play on the board and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll wrap us up here for Friday night in the Fantasy Bar, talking some baseball. Any comments, questions, or feedback, as always, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget, fantasy points on FanDuel tonight for my highest scoring hitter for a shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. NFL video coming in momentarily. Should be out here shortly. Pints and picks also out today. So busy times here in the Fantasy Bar. Thank you guys so much for watching and for the support. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beermakersfan. Salut. Best of luck here on this Friday night slate in MLB. Have a great weekend, guys, and we'll see you.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist